Assassin's Creed Odyssey is finally out, and with a game as big as this, there may be some things you missed. So we took some time to compile a list of tips that might make your time in Greece a little bit easier. So today in gameranx, here's 10 things you need to know when starting a new game in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Starting off at number 10, with Assassin's Creed being more RPG-like than ever before, obviously you're going to be dropping a ton of different loot as you set out on your adventure. You'll have so much stuff that you'll be super tempted to just head to the nearest merchant and sell it all off for a quick buck. But we highly recommend not selling it at all, but instead dismantling it for materials. Over time, you'll acquire a nice pile of random materials that you can use to upgrade your ship that you'll eventually get down the line. And if you already have a good amount of materials saved up from dismantling all your loot, you'll be able to start upgrading it right away. These materials are also found out in the world in caves, containers, etc., so make sure you're looting when you have the chance. Next, number 9, much like Origins, you have an eagle at your disposal that you can use to scout out an area and tag enemies. It's not a stunning addition and it's hardly new, but it's good to remember to actually utilize your eagle, as a bird is super good at helping you find points of interest and the like, and at times works in ways that don't even make sense, being able to tag things that are underground or through walls, but hey, it works to your advantage, so you shouldn't be complaining. When scouting around, you'll also get a reticle that you can hone in on as you approach a point of interest, and will continually close as you get closer to whatever it is it's pointing you towards in a sort of hot and cold dynamic. Like I said, it's easy just to forget about your bird, but use it for real. It's more useful than you think. And at number 8, while Assassin's Creed Odyssey is becoming more and more RPG-like, it's definitely a bit more forgiving than other RPGs. For example, Odyssey allows you to restat your character at any time. So if you want to try out different builds, you're totally able to, and there's no cost to restat either, so you're able to do it when you want and as many times as you want. This is pretty cool because now you're able to try out different builds and get a feel for them and decide which one you like better, or maybe you just feel like changing it up for the hell of it. Either way, the option's there. Coming in at number 7, in Origins, you were able to unlock a skill that let you advance time, but in Odyssey, it's something that's just given to you early on in the game, and you don't have to waste a skill point to unlock it. And it's more useful than you think. Whether you're changing the time of day to better suit traveling needs, because the world here is so beautiful and you shouldn't be traveling at night anyway, or if you need to sneak into a bandit camp, or you just prefer taking the stealthier approach to a mission, being able to change the time of day is super useful. And this time Ubisoft was nice enough to just give it to us instead of making us unlock it in the skill tree. Hey, thanks Ubisoft. And at number 6, just like every other game that gives you the ability to parry and dodge, it's parrying that you're going to want to master. Odyssey does, of course, give you the ability to dodge, but while dodging is fine, it gets the job done, it's parrying that really gives you the best bang for your buck. After parrying right, you get a slow-mo period, which is obviously very good if you want to unleash a barrage of attacks onto your helpless opponent. Parrying isn't hard by any means, but it's definitely more difficult than just dodging, so we'd recommend parrying as much as you can, because practice definitely makes perfect, and this game is like 70 plus hours, so you're going to be doing a lot of parrying. And at number 5, there are a few abilities that you're going to want to unlock right away, one of them being Second Wind. This one can really save your ass. This is a skill in the warrior subtree that will boost your health up 25%, which is perfect if you're about to die and you don't see yourself coming back from it. Activating this will breathe a little bit of life into Alexios or Cassandra and maybe give you the edge you need to get back into the swing of things and win the fight. I'd say this is definitely a must-have, and it's a great backup plan if you see yourself really losing a fight. Moving on to number 4, Odyssey has a ton of side quests that you can partake in throughout the world, and there are some quests that actually have a real-world timer attached to them, and you have to finish them before that timer runs out. Then you have the side quests that actually tie directly into the main storyline that are also missable. If you advance into the next sequence without finishing those quests, they're gone forever and you aren't able to go back and play them. So if you think you're about to finish a sequence, make sure you take a look around the map and see what side quests you have to finish up and try to decide if you actually want to do them, because you very well may lose your chance to do them. And if you're enjoying the story, you're definitely going to want to do those side quests that tie directly into the main story anyway. And number 3, the Spartan Kick is one of the first abilities that you can unlock, and while it might seem kind of funny at first because every time you use it, you're just gonna think of Gerard Butler kicking a man into a giant hole and yelling, "This is Sparta" at the top of your lungs, but it's actually super useful and one of the better abilities in the game. If you're near a ledge and you Spartan kick an enemy, it'll send them flying off the ledge and they'll fall to their death, which is actually super useful when you're fighting a harder enemy. You can also use it to finish off enemies non-lethally, which you might not want to do because who cares, but it might actually be in your best interest, which leads us to our next point. At number 2, not killing the mercenaries that hunt you down is a good idea. If you use the Spartan Kick to defeat them non-lethally, you're actually able to recruit them to your ship's crew as a lieutenant. Doing this gives your ship special perks which could be very useful, which you can later get rid of for different mercenaries with different perks if you get tired of them. So after defeating them, you walk up to them and hold L3 to recruit them. Murdering them is also an option, but you're losing the chance at some perks, so maybe rethink how you take on and defeat mercenaries. And finally, at number 1, it's important to know that this game does have multiple endings, with your actions throughout your playthrough actually affecting how your game ends. The game does have dialogue choices, so you can actually shape your own unique story, and not only are there multiple endings that you yourself shape, but there's also a big secret ending that you can unlock after beating the main story. So after you return to Sequence 7, we highly recommend you complete all the quests you have chilling in your log, because the cool ending you get after that is really cool, and it's definitely worth seeing. And those are 10 things you need to know when starting a new game in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but we want to hear from you, so meet us down in the comments and let us know what you think. Do you have some other useful tips that you want to share with everyone? And how are you liking Assassin's Creed Odyssey so far? As I'm sure you guys already know, hitting that like button really helps us out, and if you're new here, subscribing is a good idea, because we put out new videos like this every single day. As always, thank you for taking the time to stop by and hang out with us, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.